Greetings of peace and love, everybody. My name is Ram Hotep, coming back at you with another episode, another segment, broadcasted on behalf of the number 13 SignsAstrology.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. See, when they swing, I weave it. See, when you try to throw a blow at me, I punch you right back. Yeah, I'm feeling real good today. Got a little bit of opposition going on again. I guess, the last episode got too many views, got too many likes. We just got too much support from the people. They thought they was going to shut us down last week, so that didn't work. So they have to come with this new agenda or whatever. So that's why I opened up the video talking like that. I'm just having a little bit of fun or whatever. But in all seriousness, I mean, we got a situation right now where they don't want to accept our funds now. First they wanted to boycott us and not give us funds. Now they don't even want to take our money. They don't even want to take our money. And that lets you know that this world has nothing to do, like when you study business and economics and things like that, this world has nothing to do with people making a profit. People don't want to make a profit in business. It's all about control and manipulation. It's a monopoly game. And they give you a certain amount of money so that they can control you. The Honorable Louis Farrakhan has a very brilliant statement. He says that he who defines the diameter of your thinking controls the circumference of your activity. So why am I saying that? I'm saying that because no matter how much money they give you, it could be $1 million. Like we got these people out here saying they want reparations, they want to be free, and they're going to get all this money and they're going to go sue the government and get this money. But no matter how much money they give you, no matter how much land they give you, if you don't have any knowledge and if you don't know what to do with these monies to free yourself, you're going to be basically in the same situation. Basically what they do is that they play a chess game. Yeah, they'll give you X amount of dollars. You say you're going to become a sovereign, they'll give you X amount of dollars. They'll give you a bone, but they know based on your thinking, they study you. See, they got computers and machines. When I say they, I'm talking about a group of aliens. And they have computers and machines that come up with algorithms and calculations. And these machines define you. They have you plugged into a machine, believe it or not. Like every time you use your phone and you use Facebook and you use social media and things like that, they have a machine that defines exactly what you're going to do next. They know exactly what you're going to do next. They probably know what I'm going to do next. Like they have this all calculated. So getting money and going and standing in front of the government, suing the government, doing all that stuff, that's not going to do anything. That's not going to really get you free. It's not going to get you free. See, the only thing that's going to free you is knowledge. Not only knowledge, but you have to have heart. And the last thing is what I want to talk about here on this episode is that you have to have is, or I guess a lack of, is that you have to have a lack of fear. You have to have no fear. Because fear is what the Dark Lords use to rule over the people. See, the Dark Lords, they belong to the school of Arulu. That's right, I said the school of Arulu. Who is Arulu? In ancient Egypt, Arulu became Amun-Ra. That's his name in ancient Kemet. You know him as Amun-Ra. And Arulu is the chief Dark Lord. He sits over all the dark judges and all the dark lords. And if you want to become a dark lord or you want to become an initiate into that order, you have to fall up under the order or the brotherhood of Amun-Ra, aka the brotherhood of Arulu. So you talk about Satan, you talk about Lucifer. Lucifer is Satan and all those characters that Christians are so scared of, because that's who's attacking me. So I have to teach you guys. I know I'm jumping around, but I want to make a point here. It's the Christians mostly, and people in these orders like the Rosicrucians and people that are involved in these different religious orders. These are the people that are attacking me, and they're doing it because they're in fear. See, it's really them, they're in fear. And in order for you to become an initiate, if you want to become a dark lord, if you want to be up under the control, because a lot of people are like, well, I want to be a dark worker. You have to fall up under Arulu. And Arulu is very knowledgeable. And this is why he has the most power here on this plane. He rules over Satan. He rules over Lucifer and all these people these entities, I should say, that a lot of people are fearful of. So the people that run this world, you talk about the elite, the Illuminati, or whoever they are, because remember, the Illuminati is dealing with the enlightened ones and those of the light. However, the people that run this world are dark lords. I was listening to Jordan Maxwell the other day. He was talking about how the beings of light, and those beings of light, though they're brilliant, though they're magnificent and things of that nature, he talks about the reason why the dark lords rule this particular planet. He says the chief reason why the dark lords rule this particular planet is because they know more. They have more knowledge. And the more knowledge that you have, it eliminates the fear. And the thing is that the dark lords, they use knowledge, wisdom, and information. What makes them separate from the light worker and the dark worker, or what makes them separate from the workers of the light, is that they use this knowledge and information to rule over the people and to suppress the people. So they basically come up with disinformation, and they put a lot of disinformation out there to keep the people ignorant, to keep the people dumb, to keep the people blind. And when you become a light worker and say you want to help the people and you want to be on this quest to go free all of these people and all of that, they're going to call you some form of a whistleblower. They're going to call you some form of somebody that's exposing them. The reason why they have to do that is because they have to put fear in the hearts of the people so that the next person won't decide that they're going to stand up and do the same thing that you're doing. They want to make an example out of you. So like when you say, for instance, you got the guy Edward Snowden. And Edward Snowden, what did he do? He was like a light worker, right? He's a champion to the people because he exposed information that was hidden and secret. He made it known, which made him a light worker because he used this information. He wanted to use this information to free the people. So they call him a whistleblower. They isolate him. They put him into the media and things of that nature. And the reason why they do that, they put him into the media negatively and say, well, he's in Russia and he can't come back to America. And they make it look like he has a bad life and he has negative karma. The reason why they do that is because they don't want to see you free. See, these are the dark lords and the dark workers. And they know that, just like Thoth says in the Emerald Tablets, and I'm going to read a tablet to you in a minute, because this is part 2. But just like Thoth says in the Emerald Tablets, they know that knowledge is magic. That's right, knowledge is magic. It's a compilation of knowledge and force. This is how you make magic. You make magic based upon your ability to apply your knowledge within the realms and the plane of force. What do I mean by that? Okay, I'm going to give you a real live example in like fighting and boxing, because I like to watch a lot of boxing or whatever. So you could have the knowledge that you have 2 hands, and you could ball your fist up and you realize that these 2 hands can hurt someone. Like these 2 hands, you could swing at someone and punch them and you could hurt someone. So that's having knowledge that you have 2 hands, and then you're applying that to the plane of force, because it takes force for you to use these hands to hit someone. So your ability to become a good fighter even is based upon the knowledge and information that you have and knowing about different chakra points and things like that. So you may, for instance, you could use your hands and apply force to the sternum or the heart chakra area, and that can stop someone's heart and kill them in one blow. See, that's having knowledge about a thing. Whereas another fighter, they may just, out of fear, somebody attacks them and they just start swinging, and they're just swinging at their head, they're swinging at their hands, and they're just all over the place because they don't know how to apply this certain knowledge. So magic is your ability to apply knowledge. When a quarterback, like a brilliant quarterback, wins a game, like Steve Young, for instance, like when Steve Young was a really good quarterback for San Francisco, and the reason why he was a good quarterback was because he had knowledge, he had more knowledge of his body, he had more knowledge of the game, he had more knowledge of the players that he was working with than maybe the other team's quarterback had. So that's what made him more successful, and why he was able to win a lot of the Super Bowl championships and things of that nature. So if you want to become a winner in this world, if you want to become one who ascends in this world and makes it out of the trap of the dark lords, you have to, it's all based upon your ability to apply knowledge, wisdom, and information. That's what it all comes down to. In the Emerald Tablets, which is what I'm going to read, this is what Thoth talks about, or this is what it says in the footnotes about knowledge, the Dark Lords, and magic. It says he speaks of interlocking worlds and spaces set apart from the one in which we dwell, each of these filled with manifestations of consciousness. He then relates a wonderful experience of calling from within the sixth dimension one who has been imprisoned by the lords of Arulu. And this is a female who was imprisoned by the lords of Arulu. And it says she was one who, when we occupied the past cosmic cycle, attempted to come into this cosmic cycle, and failed, and was imprisoned by the lords of Arulu. Thoth, through his knowledge, opens the gateway and calls forth this imprisoned consciousness. So why is it talking about a female being imprisoned? And why did these Dark Lords make an example out of this particular female? What it's saying here is that consciousness is actually feminine. Consciousness is feminine. And what the Dark Lords want to do is that they want to, because like a woman operates off of more so. I'm saying, because men are emotional too, and I know a lot of women may try to jump on me for this, but more so women operate off of a lot of times emotions, energy, emotion, because they're more energetic than us. So the Dark Lords know this, so they know that they can insert fear into a female and put fear into a female, and they can rule over a female based upon fear. But the reason why she's using a female as an example in this is because a female and consciousness is one and the same. Consciousness is feminine. So when you're more conscious, you're more of based upon the feminine prototype. So the Dark Lords, they use patriarchy, or they use force, and they use fear, and they use that and they put that on the conscious people, and they put you into a state of fear. So say, for instance, right now I'm going to give you a real live example of what I'm saying. We're going through right now where a lot of people can't get their food stamps. A lot of people can't get their WIC. A lot of people can't get their benefits from the government. And they know that mostly women depend on these things. So the Dark Lords are going to tell the women, we're going to take this away from you. And they know that's going to put fear into the woman. And then the woman's going to go to the man like, look, I can't get my benefits. I can't get my WIC. I got to feed my babies. What are we going to do? And the man might be like trying to study consciousness and, trying to lead a more of a conscious life. But then he has the woman that has fear in her. And he's going to use, the Dark Lords are going to use the fear of the woman to basically put fear into the man and then to rule over the nation. So why am I saying all of this? If you want to be free, you have to go through the gateways of fear. That's something that you're going to have to go through. You're going to have to run towards whatever it is that you fear the most. Whatever it is, everybody in here has fears. Because if you didn't, you wouldn't be here on this plane. And whatever it is that you fear, that's where you're going to learn the most information from. That's where the mysteries dwell. So if you want to free yourself from the Matrix and free yourself from the Dark Lords, you're going to have to overcome fear. You're going to have to master the feminine principle. You're going to have to master emotions and learn how to turn your emotions, which is energy and motion, and learn how to direct them with knowledge. So you got to balance the left and the right brain, because fear is more so based upon the right brain energies, whereas knowledge is based upon left brain energies. So you're going to have to learn how to balance that and direct that so that you can overcome your fears, hence to overcome the darkness and the Dark Lords in this world, in this society. Because they're going to put fear in you. They're going to tell you shouldn't even watch this channel. They're going to tell you that you shouldn't watch other people's channels. They're going to say you shouldn't listen to consciousness. They're going to call people whistleblowers, and they're going to try to make it look like people that are conscious and people that are on this path are they get a whole lot of shit. They get a whole lot of negative karma. You shouldn't listen to them because your life is going to be miserable. If you want to live a good life, you better stay within the boundaries of the circumference that we spell out for you. You better stay within the circle that we spell out for you. They don't want your diameter to increase, because that increases your circle of knowledge. So he goes on to say that he commands the Lords, this is Thoth now, he commands the Lords to release her, and by their secret names forces obedience. She then again becomes a part of this consciousness of which she once before was a part. So what is he saying here? He's saying that Thoth was able to free the woman through magic because he knew the secret names of the Dark Lords. See, that's what they don't want you to know. When you know who they are, and when you know who their names, then they get scared and they run. They're like roaches. See, the Dark Lords, the biggest, I guess you could say, defense mechanism that they have is that They don't want you to know who they are. They don't want you to know their names. So when you begin to practice magic, you begin to call on certain dark lords, the two chief dark lords that you want to call on when you're in a situation where you're in fear. You want to call on Arulu and Erishkigal, because Erishkigal is the feminine counterpart to the dark lords. That's the feminine aspect. Arulu is the masculine aspect. And when you call on these names, Arulu and Erishkigal, or Erishkigal, some people pronounce it Erishkigal, but I call it Erishkigal. When you call on these two names and when you're in a situation of fear, I don't care what it is, you chant these names over and over again, and you're going to notice that the fear will lift itself from you. You're going to notice that the light will begin to descend inside of you. You're going to feel lifted. The veil will be lifted. You will be able to pierce the fog. And this is how you're going to free yourself totally from the spell of the Dark Lords. This is how Thoth did it. He then goes on to say that he states that knowledge is called magic by the ignorant, and tells them not to be afraid, for all is manifestation of law. Everyone has the force if he knows how to use it, but few have the knowledge. See, everybody has these hands, these fists, but few have the knowledge on what to do with them. You don't know where to put them at certain points, certain chakra points, certain points that you can stop a person's heart. You can stop a person's heart with just 2 fingers. So a lot of people don't know where to touch. So it's having the knowledge of a thing and knowing how to combat. This is how you're going to overcome this. And I use these examples about fighting because you guys know I'm a Leo. So Leos are fighters, we're warriors. So that's why I use the example of knowledge, because of fighting, excuse me. I use that example because we're in war. Like when you decide you're going to be conscious and when you decide this is what you want to do, especially now, because we're going into November. And November is going to be a very dark time. We're having an eclipse right now. And the eclipse, what's happening is that the sun is starting to descend. The sun is dying. And when the sun dies, this is when the dark lords get really powerful. This is when they put the fear out. This is when they do a lot of rituals and a lot of spells, and we have to go through these things if we're going to make it. If we're going to make the shift into the next cycle, which is when the sun begins to rise again during springtime. So the sun is falling. We're in the fall season, and in the fall season, we're at war. We're at war against the powers that be, the dark lords, but really what it is that the dark lords are in you. They put themselves in you through the fears that they placed in you when you were a child. Everybody has these childhood fears, and if you don't overcome these things, some people fear homelessness, some people fear being broke, some people fear getting their ass kicked, some people fear losing their woman, some people fear losing their man, some people fear losing their child, some people fear death. That's the biggest fear that most people fear, because it's the unknown. So if you notice that, you have to have the knowledge. The more knowledge you have, the more you free yourself from these things and from these entities and from these people. And I'm going to close out with this. It's the last paragraph. He says, those who fear the unknown make that fear a living thing. All fears of mankind have their source in the dark lords. Conquer fear and you'll be free. Man makes himself according to his thought, a being of light or one of darkness. I'm going to close with that. So what's going to decide and the determinant factor as to whether or not you're going to be free and you're going to free your mind from the matrix and you're going to free yourself is going to have to be based upon darkness. And it's going to be based upon your decisions to either decide as to whether or not you're going to live in the light, which is, and you're going to live in knowledge no matter what, and you're going to eat knowledge and sleep knowledge and shit knowledge 24/7, or you're going to live in the dark, which means you're going to stay in the unknown. You're not going to listen to this channel. You're not going to read any more of the Emerald Tablets. You're not going to read the Book of the Dead anymore. You're not going to listen to Brother Bobby Hemmett anymore. You're not going to listen to Brother Jordan Maxwell anymore. You're not going to do anything. You're just going to stay in the programming of the Matrix. You're going to just turn on the TV and just let them program you and give you whatever it is that they give you, and you're not going to try to expand your mind. That's the decision that all of you have to make. Now, I have to make it every day, and it's a constant thing. Because I get a lot of emails, especially from women, and they're like, everything that you're saying resonates with me, and it sounds good and everything, but I got a wife, or I got a husband, and I got children, and this knowledge that you're giving me is like pushing me to like want to do more. But if I do more, what if I lose my children? Or what if where is this going to take me? Like, this is like the unknown. I don't know what's going to happen to me. This is scary. I mean, as to whether or not you're going to decide to keep going is really based upon your decision as to be a dark lord or a light worker. Because if you decide to be a total dark lord, that means you're going to Either you could be a dark, not really a dark lord, but of the darkness, which means you're going to suppress the knowledge. You're going to try to forget about the knowledge. You're going to try to drink so much that you forget, or smoke so much weed that you forget, and just go back into a slumber and a sleep. Or you're going to decide, I'm going to keep doing this thing. I'm going to keep spreading light and keep shedding light, which is truth. And every time you see someone in darkness, you're going to put the truth on it. So that's what you got to do. Every time you see a situation of darkness, you bring more and more truth. Every time they test you, you bring more and more truth. You can't have any fear in the matrix. That's the bottom line if you want to make it out of the matrix. If not, what'll happen is that you'll just constantly keep reincarnating back over and over again, and you'll be trapped in a cycle. You'll be trapped up under the rulership of these Andromedans. You'll be trapped up under the rulership of these reptilians that all work together to keep the matrix going. Meanwhile, they know they're shapeshifters. I'm going to do a video on shapeshifting. So they mastered the art of shapeshifting, which is really mastering the art of working through the plane of force. And they're shapeshifters, so they know how to get out of a situation, and they have the knowledge about just about everything. So they fear nothing. The only thing that the Dark Lords fear is being exposed. Gotta expose them, y'all. So that's gonna do it for me. That was part 2. I promised I would come back with another segment on sovereignty and freeing yourself from the matrix and things of that nature. What I'm going to do now is that I'm going to start going into more of the grounded aspect. Like once I come back with another segment, we're going to start talking about the treasury bonds, like I said, and talking about the paperwork and things of that nature. I want to give you guys that type of information too, but you gotta get into the Emerald Tablets. Everybody asks me, like, what should I do? You have to master the light and the dark. Gotta know more, y'all. So that's going to do it for me. I'm going to go ahead and shut this video down. Got to get to some emails and things of that nature. And until we leave again, I'll leave you in. Namaste.